Hello everyone. In this presentation, I want to share information about the graduate assessment. To complete this master's program, you have to complete one of two program options, either a research thesis or an internship project. In addition to the completion of that project, to successfully graduate from the program, you must have a 3.0 minimum GPA in the program. You must complete the thesis or internship requirement. You need to complete the online exit interview that you will receive a link to when you apply for graduation. You must complete all course requirements, and you must submit an application for graduation. As I noted, you have two options for your graduate assessment, a research thesis or an internship project. In this course, TLED 671, you will prepare stages of draft proposals for both assessments, so you can make an informed decision about which full proposal to submit at the end of this class. In many of the weeks, you're going to be asked to do components of these proposals in tandem. So for instance, in 1 week, you're going to do a topic proposal for both. You're going to do a research proposal for both, a method proposal for both, and finally a research plan for both. At the very end of the class, in the final module, you will decide which of the proposals to continue with and submit for the class project. Now, if you're wondering which you should choose, the research thesis is for those teachers who are interested in researching a problem of practice or who are considering advanced study after the master's degree, such as an educational specialist or a doctoral degree. The internship project is for those teachers looking to create a very real solution to a real problem in their practice, or that are likely to complete graduate study at the conclusion of this program. That means no further education beyond the master's degree. So for the thesis option, the assignment requirements are to submit the thesis proposal at the end of TLED 671. Afterward, you're going to get edits from your professor, and you need to make those edits and any additional suggested changes to the proposal. During the summer, I encourage you to work with the program director to identify a 3-person committee, and there's a link to a website that has the documentation that must be completed by you and the faculty members who will make up that committee. You will then submit the thesis proposal to committee for review. You have to successfully pass an oral defense of the thesis proposal. And then after you receive approval, you need to conduct your thesis research and complete the thesis write-up using the ODU thesis guidelines, again found in the link I have provided. Next, you successfully pass an oral defense of the thesis, and that's after you complete the write-up and your committee has had a chance to review the document. Additional requirements. You are highly encouraged, but not required, to use one of the research methods learned in this course. If you choose to use a method not taught in class, it is incumbent on you as the student to learn and apply the preferred method appropriately. So for instance, if you want to do purely a survey-based study, you're going to have to look at some survey-based research. Surveys are mentioned in both of the texts, but they're not highlighted prominently. Additionally, if you decide to do a different proposal or different project from what you submitted in the class, you won't receive any of the peer feedback or instructor feedback along the way. You will have your committee, and then you'll have your proposal to submit and get reviewed. So it's best to identify a project in this course that you feel like you could complete in the coming year. Because the thesis is research, you'll be required to submit an application for review by the college's Human Subjects Committee or the university's Institutional Review Board. IRB review is needed only if you have protected groups as participants. This means typically pre-K-12 students, people who are imprisoned, which I don't foresee any of you doing projects with. The most likely participant that would require IRB review are those K-12 students. The problem with IRB review is that it only occurs once a month. You have to get on their schedule, and it does not occur during the summer or holidays. So it can take up to a few months to get the proposal reviewed and approved. I encourage you to not include students as participants in your research because it simplifies the proposal process. If you do not have protected participants, your project can be reviewed as an exempt proposal. And therefore it goes to the college's Human Subject Committee. And typically the approval process is 2 to 3 weeks. And that includes any reviews and any changes that you're required to make. Now, your committee chair will be the one who submits. Your name will be on the submission. And you have to have had the RCR, Responsible Conduct of Research, modules completed to be able to submit the proposal through Human Subjects Review or Institutional Review. Now, in terms of students as participants, you can collect copies of student work and use that as evidence as long as they're not the focus. But you can't interview them, record them in class conversations, and use that as evidence and have them as full-on participants. So it's okay to have copies of student work as long as you're blinding the students' names and not focusing on any particular student. So it's okay to include student work as work samples and a study, but they cannot be the focus participants in terms of data collection, meaning interviews, observations. The internship option. The assignment requirements are similar in nature to the thesis assignment, but there are some variations. You submit the internship proposal at the end of TLED 671. You'll make the necessary edits that were proposed by the course instructor. You'll work with the graduate program director to identify an informal 3-person committee. Now, unlike the thesis submission where you have to have a document signed and have an official committee, you do not have to have an official committee where signatures are provided for the internship option. We prefer to have a 3-person committee so that committee can give you the best feedback on your proposal and give you good feedback on your defense and your comprehensive exams. You submit your internship proposal to the committee for review, and there is no requirement to go through Human Subjects Review or IRB on this proposal. So you can go a little faster in terms of approval. Along the way, you have to successfully pass a written comprehensive examination related to your program learning. And you have to pass that written comprehensive exam before the committee allows you to conduct the internship project. So I encourage you to have your committee identified early, probably during the summertime, and then a set aside time during the summer or early fall to complete your comprehensive exam. This comprehensive exam is going to be a take-home comprehensive exam, more than likely 4 to 5 pages in length, several questions that you will have to respond to. After you pass your comprehensive exams and are approved for your internship proposal, you then enact your internship project, and you must keep a digital binder or a website such as Google Sites. And on there you provide evidence, documents, any outcomes, reflections that you did along the way. And you successfully complete an oral defense of the internship project in the spring semester of your last year. Next, you are highly encouraged, but again not required, to use the internship proposal first developed in TLED 671. You can develop a new proposal after completion of the course, but the one you develop in TLED 671 will have received substantive feedback from course instructor and peers, so you'll have a better proposal at that stage. If you decide to go down a different path, then that proposal will only receive review once you get to the committee stage. Now, your topic is determined by your interest and context. For example, you might develop and enact a new curriculum unit, say some topic that you've struggled with in your class and you want to apply the research and learning you've used in the program into a new curriculum unit. You then develop it, enact it, reflect on it, and provide the evidence. Or you might create and present a professional development program. You notice something that was lacking in your school or on a team of teachers, and you encourage and get the participation of a number of teachers. You document the enactment of that program. Or let's say you want to enact a community service learning project with your students. You'll create it, enact it, keep the evidence, and then you'll present it. Those are just 3 brief examples of things that you might do for your internship project. Those are not required options. You have an open playing field in terms of what you want to do for your internship project. All right, that is the end of this overview of your 2 options for the graduate assessment project. If there are any questions, you can ask your course instructor or email the graduate program director. Thank you.